playoff Jimmy ran circles around the Celtics last night,
Yep.
and he has more than earned his spot in club superstar.
Yeah.
You followed a few incredible Heat playoff runs. Is this the most impressive one?
Well, it's the most improbable. And so here's the deal. If you watch the TV show or this show, you know that with a couple weeks left in the season, I was making the case that the Celtics were potentially in trouble as the 2 seed because Miami had not caught Brooklyn to get up to the 6 line. They were the 7 seed. They were going to be playing Boston in round 1, and I thought the Heat had legitimate potential to beat Boston in round 1 of the playoffs. That there is a massive difference between playoff Jimmy and regular season Jimmy, and I didn't care that they looked like a mediocre team all year. They could be dangerous. But then they lost their first play-in game to the Hawks, fell to the do-or-die part of the play-in, almost lost that one, and then they're playing Milwaukee, and even I, someone that respects Heat culture and playoff Jimmy, did not think they could beat Giannis for the second time in 4 postseasons. But then Giannis got hurt, and then even when he came back, Jimmy Butler was absolutely sensational, and they beat them. Since then, I've picked them in every round. Now, an 8 seed getting to the NBA Finals, we've only seen it once. That was in the 99-50 game season with the New York Knicks, who actually beat the 1-seeded Heat to get there. This would be the most improbable of the Heat Finals runs. But we have to recognize that Jimmy Butler is one of the most unique players in NBA history because we have seen the bizarro version of Butler a ton of times in our lives. The guys who are unbelievable regular season performers and then fall off significantly come the postseason. We are used to those players, and in fact, the Celtics in the previous round played the poster child of that in James Harden, and a guy who unfortunately is starting to build that resume up himself as well in Joel Embiid. Guys that are Harden at his apex was a consensus top 3 player in the league in the regular season, and then was not a top 10 guy come the postseason. Embiid, in back-to-back-to-back years, has been first or second in MVP voting, and in none of those years has been a top 10 playoff guy. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, was not even an all-star this year, and has been the best player in the Eastern Conference side of the bracket the entirety of the postseason. So that should not be surprising. Here's the other thing that should not be surprising. Man, Joe Mazzulla is not ready for this. Okay? He just isn't. Maybe he will be, but he's 34 years old, and he was not being groomed to be the head coach. The Celtics last year had Ime Udoka, who had stepped in for Brad Stevens. Udoka was a rookie head coach. He actually did an awesome job, and they had a deep bench of coaches in Damon Stoudemire and Will Hardy. Well, Stoudemire's gone. Hardy gets poached to go be the head coach of the Jazz. And then Udoka has to, get suspended and then has to essentially resign / be fired due to scandal. So the Celtics are left scrambling. It would be as if, don't take this the wrong way, baby, as if we're doing this show and all of a sudden DeMonze, who had been doing it with me for a year, gets hired by The Ringer to go host his own show, and then out of nowhere, I have to resign in disgrace, and they're like, Diora, I guess you're doing it? One day, maybe you'd be ready for that.
Maybe I am a little offended.
Well, it would be too much too soon. It would not, and you were like, okay, so I need to just do this thing solo for an hour every. You would not have gotten the training or the experience to be good at it. And now what you have is Missoula up against the best coach in the sport. His post-game press conference yesterday, it was detached from reality. Yes, the third quarter flipped the game, but the idea that the fourth quarter was not a huge problem for them as well is not true to fact. I don't think he was meaning to, but he was by default blaming his players. He's like, we were well prepared. We had a plan. We just didn't execute. That's putting it on your players. During the 46-point third quarter by Miami, he called no timeouts. He's not ready for this. And then there's the Celtics superstar, Jason Tatum, who is coming off the best game of his life, the 51 in Game 7, who takes 0 shots in the fourth quarter and has 3 horrible crunch time turnovers. A pass right to Jimmy Butler, and then back-to-back traveling violations.
We're definitely going over time today.
I don't know that we are.
And I would just like to point out, you said that Jimmy is the most unique, and you usually like to correct me on my grammar, but unique isn't something that you're the most at. You're either unique or you're not. So,
are you sure about that, or is this the producer setting you up?
No,
to
I'm
fail?
completely sure.
You're
not the most unique. Being unique is being different from others. You're not the most different from others. That's not really... It doesn't really work. No, you can admit you're wrong.
Well, if I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong.
No, you won't.
No, hold on a second here. Hold on. Can you be the most unique? So let me... the word unique means unlike any other. The only one of its kind. It is an absolute condition. There is no comparative form and takes no adjectives. Thus,
so you are wrong.
Cannot be so unique, the most unique, or any other kind of unique. Okay, I am wrong. That is a great job by you. Also, that means the word is used incorrectly all the time.
Not really, no.
No, because I don't think people use it to mean one of a kind.
No, you can say someone's very unique.
Mm-mm.
You can't say that?
You can't. That's... No.
No, but you could say you're very, like...
No, you can't. It literally says, takes no adjectives.
No, like, your name is very unique. Like, that's...
No,
yes.
but... Oh my gosh, you were right for a moment. Now we have to move on. But you were right for a moment, and now you're going against exactly what you just taught me. That's the point I'm making, which is evidently you can't be very unique or so unique. You're just unique. That's weird. Okay, let's keep it moving. As I was saying, I'm not ready to move on yet. I'm still talking about things. You're over here trying to...
No, I think you could be done.
Grammarly points.
I think we could go on to the next one.
No.
I feel like you've spoken.
We actually can't. And so Broussard and I on the TV show got into not a heated argument, but a real back and forth about who would you rather have for this series, Tatum or Butler. And if you are ranking NBA players at large, Tatum, of course, would be ranked ahead of Butler because of what he does over the course of an entire season. But come the postseason, and it's not because Tatum's not a good postseason performer. I don't know how you could argue there's almost any wing in the league right now you'd rather have than Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. He's a great defender. He plays 44 minutes. He's tough as nails, and he gets buckets. And he's a terrible three-point shooter that come the playoffs finds a way to hit them. In the last 4 years, he's tied with Luka for the most 40-point postseason games with 8 of them. He has 0 in the regular season. Last night, he had 35 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 6 steals. He joins Iverson and MJ as the only guys in playoff history with multiple 35, 5, 5, and 5 games in the postseason. His other one was in the finals against LeBron. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.